Hi, I'm Ken Sherbin. I'm the Parks and Rec Director with the City of Grand Junction. I want to thank you so much for joining us to check out the evolving Whitman Park design. This is something that we've been working on for several months now and have had very fortunate to have had a lot of community engagement to help inform what the future of Whitman Park could and should look like. I do want to extend our gratitude for all the folks that have worked really hard on this project thus far and all the input that we've received. I know that this is a hot button issue in our community, and there's a lot of opinions on what we should do with this facility. And I think a lot of those comments are going to be reflected in the design plans that I'm going to have the consultants present here in a moment. So I'm going to introduce James Palmer, who is project manager with DTJ Design, and also Greg White, who is the lead designer with DTJ. And they're going to run through a summary of the public input that we've received over the last few months, and then also see how that input is directly being applied into the concept designs. So thanks so much for taking the time to join us, and I'll go ahead and turn it on over to James and to Greg.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. So we'll start out here briefly with our overall Grand Junction team, sorry, the Whitman Park project team led by the City of Grand Junction. We are DTJ, myself, James Palmer, and Greg White. Just off screen here, we are the prime consultants on the project. I just want to quickly point out River City Consultants, HCL Consultants, Bighorn Engineering, and FCI Constructors are all local consultants to Grand Junction. DTJ, Hines Inc., and LSC Transportation are all Front Range located. Further, the project process has remained on track as we had originally scheduled for. We're currently in the red box that's shown here for the May 13th and 14th series of engagement meetings. And as we proceed forward, we're projecting currently on time to go toward schematic design, the cost estimate to accompany that in mid to late July. Just very briefly here, the agenda with housing support discussion, engagement process, engagement findings, park design influences, and concept process. As many of you may already be aware, the city has been highly active in providing housing support in a variety of avenues with over $62 million total from the city as well as some of their private partners collaborating and contributing to some of the housing support. And below you can see a collection of bulleted points of some of the background efforts in the housing support realm. Here's an overall slide of our engagement process. There's been a online community survey with over 940 respondents that was available on Engage GJ. There are updates that are going to remain on the website there. And then further, we had conducted a first round of engagement in the beginning of April, 1st and 2nd, and now we're conducting the second round of engagement here May 13th and 14th. Some of the primary overview and findings from the variety of engagement methods that we have implemented thus far, as you can see here on the screen. And here we have some of the top 10 programs that were identified by the community through the online community survey that was available on Engage GJ, as well as the in-person engagement sessions that occurred in April 2nd. Following these were the 9 images that were preferred during the in-person engagement sessions with stakeholder and focus group, as well as the public engagement from April 2nd. Many of these categories align very closely with what we were seeing from the online community survey. Here we have a collection of statements that were provided to us through an open-ended question in the Engage GJ community survey. These were relating to how you envisioned Whitman Park. Another one of the survey questions, this was what improvements would encourage you to visit? This is a collection of information that was both obtained through the community survey as well as the in-person engagements from April 2nd. Here we have another open-ended question of what measures would provide a welcoming and safe park? And further, another open-ended question, what cultural considerations should be incorporated into the park design? And briefly, to recognize here some of the design influences that are helping to shape what could become of Whitman Park. It's important to understand the variety of improvements that are currently planned or in construction right now in the downtown Grand Junction area. Um, there's obviously a collection of new residential projects that are coming online with the terminal project and the junction project. There's the Resource Center, which opened last year, and the Mother Teresa project, which is currently in construction. Additionally, we know that Emerson Park is currently in construction and that the Dos Rios project is continuing forward in construction. There are also restriping opportunities on 4th and 5th Street for one-lane traffic flows and additional parking, as well as improvements that are taking place through CDOT for the I-70B project. Two critical factors to bring up in this particular slide is the 2020 Grand Junction Comp Plan spoke to the need for any improvements that are occurring in downtown to build off of the vitality and economic influences that are currently occurring in downtown. And then also the 2021 Parks and Rec Open Space Master Plan identified through community survey and consultant inputs, Whitman Park as an opportunity for improvements in the overall park system. Additionally, the prior engagements that occurred in early April, as well as those occurring here in May, are significant influences to the park design, as is the current tree survey of the existing shade canopy on site. And here's a quick slide to illustrate that tree survey. And briefly, again, just pointing out the top 10 programmatic elements that were identified via the community survey and engagement, in-person engagement sessions. And with that, we'll jump into the actual concept designs now, and I'll turn this over to Greg White, lead design.
Hello, I'm Greg White with DTJ Design, and I'm the lead designer on this project, working in collaboration with the city of Grand Junction. Thanks for participating in this. So we've approached the project looking at a really high level initial concept design. All of the concepts include the highest level program that was shown on the previous slide, indicating the top 10 program elements, things such as food trucks, pollinator gardens, lighting, and more. What we've tried to do is create 3 distinct concepts that are rooted in context, from historical layout to abstracting the valley to really linking strongly to downtown. And each one of these concepts, as I've said, contains the core program elements and located in various configurations in order to explore possibilities. As we move through these diagrams in design plans, it's important to understand that we're looking at the context similarly for all of these plans. We have the influence of the 4 surrounding roads, 3 which are controlled by CDOT, that create some level of movement and sound that we're trying to use as direction to locate specific elements within the park. Also, we're looking at the strong connectivity to the north in order to build a relationship with the downtown area and Main Street. This would include looking at enhanced crosswalks, crosswalks, as well as improvements along 4th Street, both north and south, to create slower traffic and enhance parking. The overall diagram we're looking at for concept 1 has to do with honoring the original forms of the park. Primarily as large open lawn space, plaza, pollinator garden, and food trucks related to each other, and then an urban dog park and a pollinator garden on the east side. Linked is a central plaza to a multi-use event stage, which is an important component of all of the plans. The sculptural play area and seating is directly linked to that. This plan in images illustrates how this design may resolve itself. The images linked to the different areas show what the pollinator garden could look like, where we could locate food trucks, additional seating and shade, games such as ping pong, cornhole, all those on the west side adjacent to the 4th Street. Centrally located could be a plaza linked to the stage and seating area, surrounded by open lawn and flexible space for use in larger events. On the east side, we have the dog park, which may buffer noise coming from 5th Street. And again, on the southeast corner, we have potential gateway and xeric and pollinator garden demonstrations. As shown at the bottom of the plan, we have assumed program that will show up in all 3 concepts: shade, lighting, seating, lawn, and additional things that will continue to be continuous program within all of these plans. Additionally, to note that preserving the trees is a high priority. They're shown in their specific locations in these plans. The second concept was inspired by celebrating the regional valley and adjacent geology of the Bookless and Colorado National Monument and the Grand Mesa and the rivers. Again, slightly more organic forms, food trucks and carts on the west, and additional recreational space have been added in this concept diagram. Again, we have images and plan showing how we would tuck some sculptural play areas and seating into the northwest corner with the pollinator garden strongly linked to the downtown area, food trucks and seating and games on the west side. In this configuration, the stage has moved to a central location, living into a space open between the trees. The flexible lawn areas are much more meandering and organic in shape and accented by larger circulation paths that are inspired by the rivers of the valley. We're showing the potential for a hard court surface that could house several types of sports, basketball, other things, and even the potential for a small bouldering feature in that area as well. Again, featuring pollinator garden and gateways to the southeast corner, celebrating the entrance into the downtown area and Whitman Park as well. The landforms, again, would be inspired by the geology, creating some tiered seating and some more intimate spaces. Final concept is inspired by strong linkage visually to the existing downtown forms and iconic brick walls. Again, food trucks to the west, pollinator garden and sculptural play stay in the quietest areas of the park, with recreational space and dog parks flanking the flex lawn to the northeast. The multi-use event stage has been relocated in this option, along with a plaza, to a maybe central, more northeast location in order to take advantage of views to the monument, as well as direct sound in a different direction. Again, we have images and plan description showing the potential for a small sculptural play area adjacent to the pollinator garden, different configuration and slightly smaller food and seating court, overhead lighting, things such as ping pong and other outdoor games, and a large open central flex lawn that could serve for casual play as well as be the central gathering area for larger community-based events. The stage structure, as in all of these concepts, can be a flex use that could serve for smaller gatherings such as yoga or small musical events, as well as larger ones that could happen at the community level. Again, locating recreational potential on the east side against Fifth Street, basketball, and potential seasonal skating. We've been discussing seasonal skating in all of these concepts and would link it located to a hard surface for functionality. There's been discussion about synthetic or real ice and what would be the easiest and most functional management system to create some seasonal activity. All of these parks would have the ability to house an expanded holiday lighting festivals, as well as other events linked to the downtown, such as art shows or other events such as that. Again, we are showing a small urban dog park with the future residential development adjacent. We believe that that could have an impact and be a positive facility. So those are the three concepts. And what we're looking for is great community input in order to continue to guide our process of design and to continue to evolve these into one resolved concept in order to move forward in our design process.
Thank you, James and Greg, for running through the presentation. Hopefully you found it to be informative. It's obvious that we've had a lot of great input that has been translated into these concepts that Greg just finished explaining. So I just want to describe next steps and what this looks like. So we will be pursuing a preferred option that's going to be further developed to a schematic level of design, and that is going to have cost estimates completed from the team that James had mentioned at the beginning of their slideshow to help us really understand what the cost impacts of doing this renovation would be. So we plan to have those done by the middle of this year, and then the city will consider this project as well as all other city projects with our budgeting process that happens for the 2025 budget year. So thank you again so much for taking the time to provide your input. Please provide your comments at engagegj.org. Please continue to stay informed about the evolution of this plan, and greatly appreciate your time looking at this project. Thank you.